Avatar 2 has been in production for a long time. Luckily for you, it's back in business, and we've got all the info you need. The first Avatar movie came out all the way back in 2009. For reference, the first Avengers movie came out in 2012, so it's been quite a while since we took that fantastic voyage into James Cameron's wild, untamed imagination. While Avatar seems to have been forgotten by popular culture, it was the highest grossing movie of its time, and even inspired a theme park based on the beautiful world of Pandora. If the things we're seeing about Avatar 2 are as cool as they look, they better start planning the additions to Disney World right now. For starters, we know that almost all of the main actors from the first film are back in action for the sequel. Seriously, even the ones whose characters didn't live to see the end of the first one. Sam Worthington, Giovanni Ribisi, CCH Pounder, and even Sigourney Weaver are back for more. They are, of course, joined by Zoe Saldana, Hollywood's secret lucky penny. Seriously, this woman was in the first Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Trek, Avatar, and the MCU. Practically no one in Hollywood has that many of the biggest hits of all time under their belt. The most surprising cast member set to return is Stephen Lang, who played the villainous Miles Quaritch. If you don't remember, his story ended with a few giant arrows sticking through his chest. I know the guy was supposed to be tough, but is anyone that tough? They are all joined by a ton of other fantastic actors who will be jumping into Pandora with both feet. Kate Winslet, Edie Falco, Jermaine Clement, Michelle Yeoh, and more joined James Cameron for the space sequel. If that's not enough star power for you, Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel is along for the ride as well. $20 says that that's a voice acting role, but still, he plays a great Groot. Cameron took them all to Hawaii, where they basked in the beauty of island living to prepare themselves for the wonderful new locales they would be visiting in Pandora. From the looks of the pictures, the gang seems to have a great time, and I hope it was a good vacation because everything after that sounds like it was freaking insane. If you don't know much about the way James Cameron works, let me spell it out for you as simply as I can. He's, straight up bananas crazy bonkers. And I mean that in the best possible way. The filming of Titanic was considered to be one of the craziest, most needlessly expensive ventures in Hollywood history before it came out. The man basically made his own island in order to properly simulate the famous sinking ship. The studio was so worried about Cameron's insane production that they very nearly fired him. He got the last laugh though, because the film ended up becoming one of the most successful of all time. I only mention this because it seems like the filming of the Avatar sequels makes the filming of Titanic look like a nice trip to Hawaii. Have you ever seen Olympic water polo matches and thought, those people are crazy? These are people who have to learn to swim so well that they can compete in a sport while dozens of others just like them are sort of trying to drown them. Well, the cast of Avatar 2 basically had to do that, but also act while in a complicated motion capture suit. You see, a good portion of Avatar 2 takes place underwater. As we've already established, James Cameron is a real stickler for authenticity. That meant that it wasn't enough for his actors to voice over CGI characters who were underwater. No, they actually had to be underwater doing all of the crazy stuff themselves. How long can you hold your breath? 30 seconds? A minute? Kate Winslet had to learn how to hold hers for 7 minutes to film this movie. It's not just adult actors either. Kids as young as 7 years old had to train for 6 months to be able to hold their breath for up to 4 minutes in the 900,000-gallon tank of water. The production had to invent new motion capture technologies to be able to shoot underwater too. These innovations are just the ones we know about. Imagine what cool things we're going to learn once the movie actually releases. At this point, the story behind the movie might be better than the actual film, especially because of all the delays. Avatar 2 was initially supposed to come out in 2014. As you can tell from the fact that, no one saw it in 2014, that didn't happen. The sheer scope of this film is so large that it was delayed all the way from 2014 to 2020, then to 2021, and then to 2022 due to the pandemic. That makes 8 delays to its release. And you thought the wait for the New Mutants was bad. And don't worry though, the wait for Avatar 3 won't be nearly that long. Avatars 3 through 5, that's right, 5, are all set to release within a year of each other. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of confidence, even from the man who made Terminator, Alien, True Lies, and Titanic. So what exactly is this movie going to be about anyway? Was it just me, or did everything seem to be wrapped up at the end of the first one? Well, apparently, humanity didn't take their big loss at the hands of the Na'vi too well, because they're coming back with a vengeance. Cameron confirmed that the humans would once again serve as the antagonists for the film. They just can't get enough of that unobtainium.
Look at all that cheddar.
From the sound of it, this time they'll be coming with a force that dwarfs the massive army from the first film. Not only that, but Quaritch is somehow back for more. While some think that he will only be back in flashbacks, I think that Quaritch is one of several Quaritch clones who Quaritch all over the galaxy. I can make Quaritch a verb, right? It means to be the biggest jerk possible in literally every situation. Sully had to unite the clans and even the animals of Pandora to barely win in the first one, so this time he will have to look to new places to find allies. This is likely where we'll see actors like Vin Diesel and Cliff Curtis. It seems like Sully will have to discover all new cultures deep within the oceans of Pandora in order to get a force big enough to stop the humans from laying waste to their home. Not all of the humans sound like bad guys though. A child actor with the coolest name ever, Jack Champion, is playing a kid named Spider who apparently loves spending time in the Pandorian rainforests. He's said to be the breakout character of the new film, who will likely play a huge role in the sequels. It's unclear now whether or not he'll be cruising around in his own skin or his avatar's. Honestly though, what's the title of the movie? Yeah, he'll probably have an avatar. He'll be joined by Jake and Neytiri's children, who we still don't know all that much about. What we do know is that they will have a firstborn, Netiyam, secondborn son, Loak, and Tuktire, who is the youngest. Cameron intends on telling a generational story, kind of like the Godfather trilogy. It seems likely that we'll see their kids grow into maturity to face the challenges of the next generation in Pandora. I mean, it's 4 movies, so we might actually see a few generations. So now we just have to kind of speculate as to what the plot's going to be about. From what we have here, I think there was a time of relative peace and preparation as the Na'vi waited for the humans to make the long trek back to Pandora. It sounds like some human scientists have been allowed to stay, seeing as Spider is allowed to run around the rainforest. I bet you anything that he develops a romance with one of Jake's kids that lasts the rest of the franchise. It would be kinda cool if they pulled a reverse Avatar and have one of the Na'vi kids take a human body, huh? That piece doesn't sound like it will last though, as it seems the family will be driven from their home. Whatever beautiful scenery you see in the first 30 minutes of Avatar 2, I wouldn't get too attached. If we know anything about these humans, they really like blowing nature up with a ton of giant rockets. Sully will lead yet another conflict against his former people, but this time, it will take his life. That will give one of his children the opportunity to rise up and lead the Na'vi to victory. Also, these battles will probably all be underwater because, well, James Cameron. This is an Avatar movie, so let's be real, no one's coming here for the story. Sure, the ideas and the themes in the first Avatar were cool, but that's not what the main attraction is. The whole point of Avatar is that the planet of Pandora is freaking gorgeous. I mean, it took Star Wars decades to get its own theme park, but Avatar got one before the sequel even came out. There's a reason for that. Pandora might be the most well-designed alien planet in the history of cinema, and we ain't seen nothing yet. From the sound of it, Avatar 2 will take all of those beautiful sequences that we saw when Sully was first exploring the forests of Pandora and will take them underwater. We've seen underwater worlds in films like The Phantom Menace and Aquaman, but I'm betting neither of those will hold up compared to what James Cameron's got cooking. He's enlisted the folks at Weta, who made The Lord of the Rings, so you know it's going to look amazing in ways that we can't even comprehend yet. The underwater world of Avatar 2 will likely feature new kinds of animals that the underwater tribes interact with, sea monsters to swim away from, and gorgeous underwater cities of some kind. Am I the only one with Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid stuck in their head now? The stills that they've released so far seem to point to some sort of gorgeous island culture that, for some reason, decided not to show up for the big battle in the first movie. Does that mean that these tribes have beef? Probably. I mean, they were a warrior tribe long before the humans showed up. Chances are that Sully and his family won't get the warmest of welcomes when they go to visit. They might have to fight a whole other battle before they can even get to their big battle. What's more is that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Cameron has hinted that we will visit the neighboring planets of Pandora to see what's up with those crazy worlds. Are we going to see lava planets, ice planets, planets with no gravity? Who knows? All I know is that the sky's the limit when it comes to this franchise, and no matter what happens in the franchise, it will be great to see a film that has so much love and care in every single frame. In a world that's had to go without movies for a while, it's gonna be such a special experience to be sitting in an IMAX theater with your 3D glasses, transported off to a strange and beautiful world right out of a crazy genius's imagination. Is it too early to pre-order my tickets? Cause I want to right now. And there you have it, everything we know about Avatar 2. What do you guys think is going to happen in the sequel? Are 5 Avatar movies too much or not nearly enough? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Screen Rant for more updates about your favorite upcoming movies. See ya!